Guys, today I'm going to talk about how do I feel after I get infected with COVID. It is the second week after it has been 2 weeks since I got COVID. So I still cough, but I don't have fever and all other symptoms. So cough is the only symptom that I have. And I'm currently in Shanghai. A lot of people are getting infected in recent days, and it was very scary. My colleagues also get COVID, and all the schools in Shanghai transferred to online teaching. So the situation is really bad. I haven't been outside for in the past 10 days because I'm afraid of going outside. The situation in Shanghai is getting a little bit scary, even though it's like it's a bit steady. It's getting steady than 2 weeks ago, because 2 weeks ago it was really scary. It's more scary 2 weeks ago. It was the early stage. Now a lot of people are being infected already, so I think it's still scary. And the news, I think a lot of people get lung infected, and also get the COVID second time infected with COVID, and so I'm afraid of going outside. I stayed inside in this apartment for 10 days, and after 3 days, I'm currently in Christmas holiday, so after 3 days, the holiday will be finished, and I have to go to school. So the students don't have to go to school because the education department, government officials in Shanghai told the students are allowed to have to take classes online. But the school requires teachers to go to school to give classes online. So I have to go to school even though there are no students in the school. Last week I went to jiujiang. I went to my hometown. So my hometown is in Jiujiang. So I went there, and I was taking train, and a lot of people in the train cabin were coughing, and I was really worried. But I can see that on the street there are more people coming on the street than 2 weeks ago. Even though the situation is becoming better than 2 weeks ago, it's still scary for me, so I don't really want to go outside. I wanted to wait for a bit longer. And especially I don't like the multiple or get infected with COVID again. It's really scary. And I hope I don't have lung infection. I think I don't have it because I don't have the symptoms of lung being infected. So I guess I don't have it. And I don't want to go to hospital because it's very easy to get infected in hospital. So I didn't go to hospital to check my lung. I don't have the symptom of the lung infection, and also the hospital is more scary. Yeah, it's even more scary than going outside on the street. And a lot of countries are implemented new policies to people flying to those countries from China, like Japan, UK, Italy, South Korea. And it's getting a bit harder to travel to those countries, because I have always been wanting to travel to Japan, even though the Chinese government cancelled all its border restrictions policy. So now if I come back to China from overseas, I don't have to be quarantined. But the Japanese government implemented the policy for travelers coming from China, and I have to take the COVID test in Japan airport. If I been tested positive with COVID, I will be quarantined in Japan for 7 days. Yeah, of course, Japanese government will pay for it. So my plan is I don't go to Japan for now. I will wait a bit longer. It's not It's not about the Japanese government policy for travelers coming from China. I think the most important reason is the ticket. The air ticket is still very expensive. I checked the airplane ticket from China to Japan. It's still very expensive. So I guess I should wait a bit longer. I plan to go to Japan in summer holiday, so which is in July, or which is in June, and still there is a half year, and after half year I believe the ticket price will drop, and currently I don't want to go there. It doesn't make sense because the ticket price is still super expensive. The ticket, direct flight ticket coming from Japan to China will cost more than 10,000. It's ridiculous. I hope after half year, after the price ticket will be dropped, and I will go to Japan. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. I'm currently in Shanghai, but my most favorite city in China is Jiujiang. I think Jiujiang is being underestimated. There are many good places to visit in Jiujiang. A lot of travelers, there should be more travelers to visit Jiujiang. Most travelers go to Jiujiang because they want to visit Mountain Lu, or in Chinese it's called Lushan. But within the city, there are also a lot of good places to visit in Jiujiang. 70 years ago, or not 70 years ago, like 100 years ago, there was a British concession in Jiujiang. So you can find many Western architectures in Jiujiang, and Jiujiang is a national and historical city of China. And I suggest you go to visit the old British concession of Jiujiang. You can see some. There's a museum in Jiujiang. There's a museum in the old concession site, and if you go to the museum, you can know the history of the European settlement history in Jiujiang. And also there is a Jiujiang University of Jiujiang. So if you want to study medicine, you can study medicine in the University of Jiujiang. A lot of students, foreign students, study in University of Jiujiang for medical studies. Yeah. So if you want to visit China, I suggest you to visit Jiujiang. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Bye bye, guys.